Welcome to App Builder Basics. In this lesson, the goal is to create what we call the London Tourist app, which is a little demo app, which could be a tourist attraction app around London. And the idea is once you've built this app, you'll have a deep understanding of how the app builder works, and from here you could go on and build your own apps or explore more complicated lessons in the AppShed Academy around coding or data representation or whatever it may be. The idea here is that we have everything pre-made, so all the assets and the app layout is all pre-done so that we can kind of just jump straight into the app building and see how the tools work instead of spending a lot of our time planning out the layout of the app and how the images will look. So in the video description or in the AppShed Academy, you'll see a download button to download all the assets for this lesson. Go ahead and download those assets and drag them onto your desktop. What we're going to want to do next is we're going to want to upload those files we just downloaded to our AppShed account so that we can use those images and files. So once logged into AppShed, click on your account in the top right, click on Images, and then here we're going to create a new file called London app so we can keep track of these assets and not lose them in our account. So click on the new file icon next to My Files, name it London app, click Save, and then click on that new file and click Upload, and then upload all the assets from the file we just downloaded. Once that upload finishes, we should now have all the assets we need and we can actually get started with the app building. Now onto the app builder. Now you'll see here in your account you have this iPhone here. This kind of acts as the device where all the apps you build on AppShed will be stored. So if you click the plus button and create a new app and then close your browser or log out, that app will be stored here, and you'll see when you log in next time that app will be sitting right there ready for you to use it. So don't worry about losing any data. As long as you click save, the app will be on that home screen ready for you to use it or edit it. To create a new app, let's go ahead and click on the white plus button at the bottom of our screen. And then a good practice is to always give your app a name and description as soon as you create it, because it's quite easy to lose track of apps on your phone when you have a lot of apps, especially when they don't have names. So the first thing we'll do is we'll click on Settings, then we're going to type London app in the name section, and then we're going to type this is an app about London in the description. And then finally, we're going to give the app an icon. Now, an icon is what you would see on your home screen or in the App Store. So go ahead and click on Browse next to icon, and then we're going to go into My Files and click on the London app, and then we're going to click on an image named logo.png. Then we'll click Select, and then finally Save. And now our app has a name, description, and a nice icon. Now by default, our app is very empty. You'll see here it's got screen name at the top, it's got a tab name at the bottom. So we're going to want to personalize those by editing those names and giving them something a bit more reassuring. This page we're on now, this tab, this default tab, let's make it the home screen of our app, the app that the user sees as soon as they open the app. So to do that, let's go ahead and name that bottom tab Home. So click on the bottom tab, and then from the drop down, click the Edit button, and then in the name, change that to Home, and then finally we click the green Save button. Now normally an app has multiple tabs. If you think of Instagram, you've got your feed and your profile and your search tab. And these tabs can have multiple screens on them, but the tab kind of reflects a section of the app. And we're going to do the same thing for our tourist app. We're going to have a standard tab, we're going to have a gallery tab for all of the images of London, we're going to have a map tab to show some users different locations around London, and then we'll have an icon tab which will act as our home screen to make it like a nice landing page. The first thing we want to do is let's add all those tabs. So go ahead and click on Standard under Tabs to add a new Standard tab, and then we're going to name it Guides, and this tab will act as where we put all our guides. And again, what we want to do here is we want to customize it to make sure it looks nice. So click on Browse, and then we're going to use the image named tab-guides. Go ahead and click on that, and then click the Select button, and then click Save to set that as our new tab icon. Now let's do the same thing for our map. So click on Map under Tabs, give it the name Map. Again, click on Browse, select the tab Map image, select, and then click the green Save button. And then finally we'll do it for Gallery. So click on Gallery under Tabs, name it Gallery, click Browse, find the image named tab-photos and click on it, then click Select, and then finally click the green Save button. And now we have the complete skeleton of our app. So we have our 4 main tabs, being our Home tab, our Map tab, our Gallery tab, and of course our Guides tab. Now that we have our 4 tabs, let's do a bit of refining on them. So we've gone in and we've changed all the tab names to the correct name of the tab, but you may have noticed that those tabs have screens on them and the screen name is still incorrect. So if we go to the gallery tab as an example, you'll see there at the top of the screen it says screen name instead of saying gallery. Same for the guide page and for the home page, whereas the map page doesn't have a screen name on it. So let's go into the home, guide, and gallery tab and click on the screen name, click edit, and then change that text to reflect what tab it is. Now the last thing we're going to do with tabs is we're just going to change the type that the home screen is. So right now the type of tab that the home screen is a standard tab. You may have seen that we added a map tab, we added a gallery tab. Those tabs have specific functions. What we want to add here for the home screen, because we want to make it a nice user experience, we want to make it like a nice landing page, we're going to change it from a standard screen to an icon screen. Now a standard screen has more tools on it, more things we could use for it, but an icon screen lays the icons out in a grid, which is much nicer for a landing page rather than a standard screen. So to do that, we're going to click on the home tab, we're going to click edit, we're going to click action, and we're going to change the action, and then finally we're going to click on icons tab and then click save. And this will change the home screen from being a standard tab to being an icon tab. Now we can start adding some content to our app. So the first thing we'll add is some links on the home screen on that icon tab we just made. So go ahead and click on icon under advanced screen items, change the text box title to guides, and then click on browse, and we're going to look for the image named icon guides, and then finally click select. Now don't click save yet, because what we want to do here is we want to have this icon direct the user to the guides tab that we just created a while ago. So go ahead and click on action and then click on change action. And here you'll see all the different actions that you could set this button to do. So you could have this button play a sound, you could have it open a video, you could have it do custom code. But what we want to do is we want to have it jump to a different tab in our app. So click on jump to tab and then put a tick next to the guide tab and then finally click save. And now if we click on this new icon, it will directly link us to the guide tab we made earlier. Now we're going to want to add more icons that can link the user to the other 2 tabs, being the map tab and the gallery tab from the home screen. So again, go ahead and click on icon. Let's now add the icon for the map tab. So in the title, type map, and then click on browse and select the image named icon-map. Click the select button. Now again, don't click save yet because we want to change the action to direct this icon to the map tab. So again, click on action, click change action, click on jump to tab, and then click the tick next to the map tab, and then click the green save button. So again, now once we click this icon, it'll direct users to the map page. Now I know that we have all these buttons at the bottom which can do that, but again, it's always important to have multiple ways for the user to interact with the app. Some people might not notice the tab, so it's good to have a landing page which directs users around the app. And next we're going to add the icon for the final tab, which is the gallery tab. So add another icon to your app. In the title, type gallery, then click on browse and find the image named icon-photos, and then click select. And now we're going to go to our action again. We're going to click change action. We're going to click jump to tab, and then we're going to put a tick next to the gallery tab, and then finally click save. So now we have 3 icons on our home page, and when we tap on any of those 3 icons, they will direct users to the relevant tab on the app. Now our home page is by no means done, but let's take a break from the icon tab and start adding some content to our guides page, which, if we remember correctly, is a standard tab. So first we'll go ahead and click on guides and then click on navigate to make sure we're all on the same page right now. Now here we're going to want to add some different articles with guides on them. You know, guides to attractions, guides to restaurants, guides to transport, guides to theater. And to do that, we could use a text item, we could use an image item, we could use a link item. But an item that works really well for this, because it has both text and an image in it, and it's easy to add, is the image link. So go ahead and click on image link, and then in the title, type attractions, and then in the text box names text, type attractions all around London, and now we'll upload the icon for this. So click on browse, and then click on the image named icon-camera, and then click select, and then click save. Now you may have noticed that we didn't add an action to this image link, and you might be wondering what's going to happen when we click on it. Well, if you go ahead and click on it and click navigate, you'll see here that it opens a new blank page. And that's because the default action of an image link is to create a new standard screen, a new blank screen, as it were. So that's exactly what we wanted to do, because we want to put some content about attractions on this blank page. So that's perfect. But of course, like any item in AppShed, you could change the action to do whatever you want. So if you wanted to, you could have the action of this image link play a sound or open a video. It just so happens that the default action did exactly what we wanted it to do. We're now going to repeat this process 3 more times by adding a restaurants link, we're going to add a public transport link, and we're going to add a theater link. And those 3 steps are done the exact same way as before, just making sure to change the text to be the relevant text, and then changing the icon to be the relevant icon. Now, like we saw earlier, these newly created screens all have the default screen name, which is screen name. If we go ahead and click on attractions and click navigate, you'll see that the screen name is just screen name. That's the same for restaurants, for public transport, and for theater. Now, if we want to link to those pages in the future, which we do, it having the screen name will be quite unhelpful, because those 4 will have the same screen name, so we won't know where to link to. So let's go into each of those new image links and change the screen name to be the relevant name. So click on attractions, click navigate, then click on the screen name, click edit, and change it to attractions, and then click save. And then repeat that process for restaurants, public transport, and theater. Let's now very quickly add some content to one of our guides pages. So let's go ahead and click on attractions and then click navigate, and we'll add a very quick blurb and image around attractions. Now in the future, we will come back here in a future lesson and apply some styling and some CSS and HTML to make this look a lot nicer. But in the meantime, let's just add a very brief little blurb around attractions and an image. So go ahead and click on text under standard screen items, and I've added some text here which we got from the Wikipedia page around London, talking about the different attractions around London, and then click save. And then we're going to add an image, so click on image, and then click on browse, and click on the image named photo-big-ben, and then click select, and then click save. So very briefly, we've added some text talking about attractions, and an example of one of the attractions, which is Big Ben. Let's now move on to the map tab, and the idea behind this is we want to have a bunch of different pins around London, showing users different areas they could visit. So first of all, click on the map tab and then click navigate. And you'll see here by default, there is already a pin in the center of London. And that pin is just added by default when you add a map tab. Let's now add our own map point. So click on map point under advanced screen items. And then you'll see there's a title and a subtitle box. In the title, type Big Ben. In the subtitle, click Tower of the Palace of Westminster. And then down below that, you'll see that we can input an address, which is where the map pin will show up. You can just type Big Ben here and it will find it if you click find. And then go ahead and click on save. You'll now see that our map has 2 pins on it. One is the default that was added by AppShed, and the other is one we added of Big Ben. Let's go ahead and delete that default one because it's not too useful. So click on the default pin, and then in the white box, click again, and then click delete, and then click yes. So now we have our one map pin, which is Big Ben. Let's add some other pins to show different areas of London. So let's add one for Buckingham Palace, let's add one for the London Eye, let's add one for the Tower of London, and then let's add one for Westminster Abbey. And again, that process is the exact same as the Big Ben one, just by adding a new map point, typing in the title and subtitle, and then typing in the address of those 4 different attractions. Now again, everything can have an action in AppShed, even a map point. As an example, if a user clicked on the Big Ben map point, we could have it linked to an article about Big Ben. So let's actually do that. So let's have it that when they click on the Big Ben map point, it directs them to the gallery, which will have an image of Big Ben. So click on the Big Ben map point, click in the white text box and click edit, then click on action and then click on change action. Now what we want to do here is we want to link to the gallery tab. So click on jump to tab like before, and then click on the tick box next to gallery, and then click save. And now when you click on that white text box, it'll link you directly to the gallery tab. Let's now move on to the gallery and add some images of London. Now the gallery tab is specifically made just for images, so you can upload images here and then the user can click on them and they can go into a slideshow or view them all at once. So it's all about viewing images. So click on the gallery tab and then click navigate, and then we'll add an image here. So click on image under standard screen items and then click on browse, and let's add a photo of Big Ben. So click on the image name photo-big-ben, click the green select button and then click save. And now we have an image of Big Ben, and if we click on that image, it'll open up full screen and we can click back. Let's very quickly add some more images around London just to fill up our gallery. So click on image again, click browse, and you'll see there are some other images of London that we can now add. So go ahead and add a few and then click save. Now again, everything in AppShed can have an action, even these images on the gallery tab. So let's now say that if a user clicks on the Big Ben image, once it's zoomed in, it will take them to the attractions page. So go ahead and click on the image of Big Ben, click navigate, it should now be full screen. Click on it again, click edit, click on action, click change action, and now we're going to have it jump to a screen on our guide tab. So click on jump to screen, click on the drop down arrow next to guides, then click on the drop down arrow next to guides again in the list screen, and then finally click on tick next to attractions, and then we can click the green save button. And now if we click on this image of Big Ben, it'll take us to the guide page, it'll take us into the attractions page. So it's not jumping to a tab, it's jumping to a screen within a tab. So now the last thing we want to do is we want to do some final touches on our home screen. We're going to add a few more icons which do some extra tasks, and then we're going to wrap it up from there. So head back to the home screen by clicking on the home tab and then clicking navigate. The first two icons we want to add is a public transport link and a theater link. So these will link to the pages in the guides tab. So let's add the public transport one first. So go ahead and click on icon and then type public transport in the text box and then click on browse and click the icon-tube image. And now we're going to link it so that the action is to link to the correct screen on the guides page. So click on action, then click change action and jump to screen, and then we're going to click on guides and then guides again from the drop down, and then finally we're going to click the tick box next to public transport and click save. Now repeat this exact same process again with the theater page using the theater icon, and we'll have two more icons on our screen. Next, we're going to add the phone icon. Now this icon will have a special action that when we click it on our phone, it'll make a phone call. And the idea is that this icon will be like an emergency number for a tourist who's injured in London or lost in London or whatever it may be. So let's add another icon. We're going to name it emergency in the title, and then we're going to give it the icon as usual. So click on browse and then click icon phone, then click the green select button. Now we're not going to click save yet because we're going to add our action. So go ahead and click on action and then click change action, and then we're going to click on phone under communication. And here we can input a phone number, and when this app is actually on our phone, it will make a real phone call. But just to be safe, let's use a fake number here. So just type 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 into the text box and then click save. So that's our emergency icon done. Now let's add some social media links. You know, apps always have links to the relevant social medias. So let's add some links to link it to the Visit London Facebook page, the Visit London Twitter page, and the Visit London website. Let's add the Facebook one first. So again, click on icon under advanced screen items. In the title, we can type Facebook, and then we're going to add the Facebook icon. So click on browse, and then click on the image named icon-Facebook. Now we want to set the action to open the Facebook page. So click on action, click change action, and select Facebook under web and social. And then here we can just put in the link to the Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Visit London. And then we can click save. And now when we click on this icon, it will open the Facebook page for Visit London in our app. Next, let's add the Twitter page. So again, we're going to click on icon. We're going to name it Twitter in the title. Then we're going to click on browse. We're going to select the image icon-Twitter and click the green select button. And now we're going to change the action to link to a Twitter feed. So click on Action, click Change Action, click on Twitter under Web and Social, and then use the Twitter handle @VisitLondon, and that will open the feed for Visit London's Twitter page. And then click the green Save button. And now finally, we're going to add the website Visit London. So again, we're going to add an icon, and in the title, we're going to type London website. We're again going to click Browse and use the image icon-website. Going to click the green Select button. And then again, we're going to change the action so that it links to the London website when the button is clicked. Click Action, click Change Action, and then click Web under Web and Social. And here we can input the Visit London website, which is www.visitlondon.com. And then we can click the green Save button. And now when we click on that new icon, it will open the London website on our app. And now lastly, before we publish our app, we can do a tiny bit of neatening up. Let's change the background color of our icon tab to be something more reflective of the colors in our tab, something a bit more bluish. So first things first, click on Settings, and this is the settings for the whole app. Then click on Styles, and in the Styles tab, you'll see a bunch of different ways you can edit the style of your app to change the way it looks. All we're after is the background color. So then click on Icon Screen, and then click in the text box labeled color, and you'll see a color picker pops up. This is a hexadecimal color chooser. Now the color we're after is light blue, so you could just scroll around and click on the light blue until you find one you like, but the light blue that we're using in this app is BFEAFF, and you'll see that gives us a very nice light blue color. Once you've got that, you can just click Save. And now you should see that the icon screen, well, the home screen, is now nice and blue, and it matches the icons. Of course, you could go back in the style page and change anything else you want, but for now, this is all we're going to be doing in this app. We will, of course, revisit styling and design of apps in a different lesson. And now the last thing to do is to actually publish our app and put it onto our phone for normal use. The way we do this is we click the Publish button with the airplane icon, and this will actually generate a web app off of the simulation on our phone. So we go ahead and click Publish, and then we can click Start, and once the app is published, we'll get a thumbs up and we can click Close. Now, getting our app onto our phone, there are multiple ways we can do it. The easiest way is to simply click on Share and then click QR code. Now, if you have a newer phone, you can just open your camera and you can scan that QR code and it will open the app in your browser on your phone. If that doesn't work, you can always just download a QR code scanner from the Google Play Store or the Apple iOS Store, depending on what kind of phone you have. If you want to view your app on a computer, not on a cell phone, you can also just click on Share and then either click on Web App to view the raw web app, which might look a bit distorted on a widescreen, or you can click on Preview to encase that web app into a phone body so that it doesn't look too stretched out on a wide screen. And with that, the London app is complete. From here, you could explore some other AppShed Academy courses around styling or coding, or you can start experimenting with your own app building and start designing your own app.